Welcome to the news. Huw Jones and Jason Rivers.
Musers.
Muse on the news of the week.
It's exactly what we do.
It is, yes. Improvised, that was.
Yeah, it rhymed, but it was correct.
We're going to start with Ubisoft today.
Yeah, I think
usually the font of goodness
yes.
in the world. But this time, what is it they did? I've actually forgotten.
So they released Watch Dogs for Wii U, and then they announced that they're not going to release any more of their mature content for Wii U.
And all the people that own a Wii U went, huh?
Yeah. So, sorry, did you release Watch Dogs for Wii U?
Yeah.
I own a Wii U, so I don't have to play games like Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I have a Wii U and a PC capable of playing Watch Dogs, and still wasn't that fussed by it.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it's kind of coming down to this thing that whether or not Wii U is for mature content, and Ubisoft's kind of drawing a line in the sand and saying, well, our mature content isn't going there.
Yeah.
And Wii U's kind of saying, well, people have been having a lot of a go at us, but we still have made lots of money from selling the same Mario game again, so we're not that bothered.
And it's one of those things, like, define what mature content means.
Yeah.
Something just like games that are over 18 or whatever, that have some death and swearing and whatnot in, and violence. Because, like, it's a strange thing, really. Because there's always the joke, right, that, like, 15-year-olds play Call of Duty, and that people who are actually adults play Mario.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And there is an element of truth
to
that statement. So it's just like when people say mature games, it's like when people used to say hardcore casual back when Wii first came out and be like, oh, Xbox, PlayStation's hardcore, Wii's casual. And it's just like, I couldn't think of a more casual way to play games than just playing FIFA or Call of Duty.
Online. Yeah. All the time, yeah, exactly.
Like that's
okay, admittedly, you didn't get something like Dark Souls on Wii back in the last generation, but still, you did get stuff like Pikmin, which you don't get.
But my point is there as like the Wii U is probably more of the gamer's console than anything else. It's because it's more of a games console than anything. It's not like a multimedia center.
No,
and all the games they make are
Netflix,
like more or less 100% gameplay.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back. Ubisoft did make some statement last year about the Wii U not having enough sales and them not wanting to put enough money into it, and I think it's related to that, and there's going to be a lot of anger from that.
I fully understand why they don't want to put the games on it. It's just kind of like, I say, well, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, well,
it's like, well, I don't like the Ubisoft probably don't count Rayman Legends as or Origins as one of their mature games. Yeah, and that's the only good game I think they've made. Apart from Assassin's Creed, maybe, depending on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was on the Wii U, and that was the best format for it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, in fact, I think my exact words to you was, I don't know how Wii U players will survive. And it's basically, I just don't think it matters. It's an announcement that doesn't matter.
It's kind of an announcement that people assumed was like the thing anyway. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember Call of Duty was actually on the Wii, and everyone went, "Oh, the graphics are shit." I was like, "Yeah, well, it's also a rubbish game."
Yeah.
Why do you own it on your Xbox?
Even Call of Duty as a thing now is like lost a lot of its pull. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the big boy anymore. Don't know what it is.
What is the big boy now?
I don't know. I think we're kind of in limbo. Maybe Titanfall, but.
Yeah, I guess.
Actually, Titanfall was moderately fun.
Titanfall had lots of fun things to do, to be honest.
But it's not something I would buy.
No. It looks, because it's only online, I feel like if it's only online, just make it free to play and sell people hats. Yeah. Team Fortress does it and it works.
Yes.
Okay.
So, other big companies doing silly things. Bungie, they sacked their composer, who had worked on all their Halo games and whatever. And then this week, he won his court case to have his founder's shares reinstated. And Bungie's argument in court was he would be bothersome at board meetings. Yeah. That's why they didn't want to let him have his founder's shares.
And the exact word was bothersome.
Yeah, they used that was literally their argument in court, which is I don't think is a legally
binding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I guess my thing there is, do you think they forgot he was a founder or something?
So let's get rid of take the shares away from him in the first place. True. So it's kind of strange because I don't think you get the full story. Like, he wasn't sacked for no reason. He'd done the score for Destiny already. His score will be in that game, and he'd done all the something must have happened for him to get fired that not everyone knows about. But it's probably quite a tricky situation for Bungie because they don't want him there for whatever reason, but they still have to put up with him now.
Yeah, he might actually be a real pain in the arse at board meetings.
Yeah.
We don't know that he's not a tit. But the fact is, I
think we just don't know the full story.
We really don't know the full story. But then I don't really notice game music. This has been a thing. You've been trying to make me appreciate game music for a while.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think he is quite respected for his music in these games.
The Halo score was one that people really liked. For me, when I like gaming music, I always like the sort of old school thing where they make really cool songs, and the Bungie thing is more like a score, so it is good, and it does.
I guess it's more like a cinematic thing.
Yeah. It's not. It's not something I'm going to go and learn on my guitar. Although lots of people do for the Halo thing. I think covers of the Halo.
The best guitar ones are still the guy who does Pokemon, though. To be fair.
What?
Family Jewels 7X, I believe he's called.
It's okay. It's pretty good.
Well, I like his Gym League of Battle one. I like that one. Don't know Smooth McGroove, I'll give him a watch.
Acapella. The man with the golden voice.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the man with the golden voice is definitely Leonard Cohen.
Well, I'll show you Smooth McGroove after the video. It'll be grand. So what else happened this week? You're the one who did the research this time.
Yeah. Okay, let me think.
VR,
there we go, that was it, sorry. So the Oculus Rift owner has come out, or the original guy before he sold it to Facebook, has come out and said that he's worried that the market's going to be polluted. And there's going to be bad hardware and kind of gimmicky actions and that kind of thing.
Yes.
The problem is, this is a big problem with our videos. Me and Jason don't agree in real life when we do on these videos, but this is one thing we definitely agree on, is we think VR's kind of gimmicky anyway.
Yeah. Well, VR was, when they first started talking about it, I was like, VR could be next, a big step in gaming, as in this was my first reaction, was it's because it's the first change in technology that could really affect how you play since going to 3D.
Yeah.
Which is true, but it's also
But it could also end up like 3D.
Yeah, I find it hard to imagine it being the default position for games. I think you're going to find hard pressed to beat something that is just lounging on your sofa with your pad and whatnot. Because you also have to kind of close yourself off from the world.
Yeah.
I kind of
I think the Sony headset in particular is a headphones and a VR.
So
it cancels out everything around you.
So there is a lot of potential for a handful of really amazing, really immersive games.
Yeah.
There's a scope for it, but I can't see it being the default position for all genres and everything. And it's not going to be the way I like to play games. Like I said, it's to come home, and I actually quite like playing games in the company of people, even if they're single player.
Yeah. And I remember I've actually tried an Oculus Rift out in the Jeju Computer Museum, which is where I used to live in Jeju in South Korea, and it was really cool. But it was just a simulation of a roller coaster, and they also had a moving pad underneath you to simulate the move, so you actually kind of got vertigo. But I was kind of like, this is cool, but it's not interactive, and I have no idea how this would work if it was interactive.
Some of the things, if they're built for it, that's the thing. If they're built for it, could be really impressive.
I mean, I saw a really good. Someone had made a first-person Legend of Zelda 1, and that looked really cool. But I just thought, that's kind of cool to watch a YouTube video of. I'm not that bothered about buying that,
It's and it's going to be expensive, so
it is, yes.
But
to be honest, on that story though, I would say the Sony headset does look quite good quality too.
Yes.
So maybe a crap one will come out, but those two do look fairly good quality and well designed. So
overall, I'm not that worried about the future of VR because I don't think it's got that. It's not going to be the future. It's just one thing that will exist as part of the, whatever. Fuck it. The news.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Whatever. Fuck yeah.
Jason River of CNN. River. You're a singular river now.
I am.
Okay. We've got 2 more, I think.
We've got 2 more newses for the week. Bloodborne is.
That was it.
Bloodborne is cool. They've released some actual footage of that. We touched on it a little bit last week. It's the kind of spiritual successor to Dark Souls, and now there's some footage of them beating the area that they were demoing. They kind of make it look a lot easier than it's going to be, and they said that the demo was scaled down in difficulty for the purpose of showcasing the game. But you kind of get to see how the game's going to work now, how it's ditching the shield, and how you regain your life is through attacking enemies. It gives you, if you attack them quick enough, you restore your health. A bit like how in fighting games you have that little bit of health bar that you can get back that's not fully gone, so long as you don't get attacked. It seems to be a bit like that, but with the emphasis on attacking, so it's a lot more aggressive looking than Dark Souls. You have to be on the attack, and they've made more options in attack, and they've made attack a bit more fluid and dodging a bit more fluid. So it's a lot less of a defensive game than Dark Souls. That's like the key difference.
The thing that definitely does, if you do find the video, it does look so much more kind of flowing and fluid, like Jason said, and
also it looks amazing.
Yes,
visually
they've done the world really. I mean, if that's the demo, and they've scaled it down as well.
Well, in difficulty.
In difficulty,
not in graphics, I assume.
But, I mean, that's like the first area, and it's got this real. It's got a really good kind of weird steampunky. Not really steampunk.
It's got like a Victorian-y London vibe to it.
Yeah,
you can definitely get like a sort of Big Ben type looking structure in there. And it looks awesome. Like those guys' games always do.
It seems to be pretty much the same engine as Dark Souls as well. So you it's a good engine.
If you watch it, the first thing you think of is easily Dark Souls. You can see it's the same. Yeah, and the sounds and everything as well. It's just straight up Dark Souls, but that's what he does.
And Dark Souls is pretty good so far.
Yeah, he's been pretty good with his last 2 games of keeping the basic formula the same but changing enough so that it's a kind of entirely new experience. And the thing that he does that lots of people really like is create really good and well realised worlds which have a good a sense of like, I don't know, like you get the feel of the world. Like a Dark Souls has this kind of melancholy, dread type feel to it. It always feels kind of sad just to be there. So
there's definitely a lot of little touches in that first world of Bloodborne. You see, that area. You see, just like the fact it's constantly raining is like an easy thing to think of cinematically.
Apparently, there are day-night cycles in it as well.
That's
something that they said, but you don't get to see.
I wonder if that'll affect it, because it's definitely got an undead feel to it. I wonder if that'll affect it.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because there's a kind of vague vampiric thing to
well,
combat giving you health, isn't there?
It's called Bloodborne.
It's called Bloodborne.
Yeah, you say like fighting can give you your health back, and you get covered in blood.
That's even like a really common like RPG trait is vampirism is one where you attack people to get health back.
So there could be a bit of that.
Could be really good. I mean, it looks amazing, but I just mean like visually, it looks brilliant. So.
Yeah, well, no doubt it'll be. There's probably the only reason for me right now to get a PS4 because everything else is coming out on PC that I want at the moment.
Because I was nearly going to buy a PS4 for Phantom Pain, but as we covered last week, that's coming to Steam. So,
well, it's good. It means I get to put it off. I still haven't finished Dark Souls 1, so whatever. I don't need to rush out immediately. I think what was the last thing was a game that you're interested in called Wasteland. It's more your sort of forte, so you can have the floor with that.
Fallout fans of the first 2 might know that, I can't actually remember who it is, but one of the creative directors from the second Fallout game, and maybe the first one, has been working on the sequel to Wasteland. Gives background for you here, Jason. Wasteland was an RPG in 1989, which was pretty much Fallout.
Good years.
It was just before Fallout. It had very many of the same weapons and features, bit less good technology because it was obviously 1989, and then they Fallout almost feels like an update of Wasteland. Wasteland 2 is going to have some of the original guys who worked on the first 2 point-and-click RPG Fallouts, and that's why it's quite hyped amongst the Fallout community. And so I'm looking forward to that. That's coming out next month, but I forget the actual day.
As someone who's never played the old Fallouts, good for you. I'm glad.
Never played the old Fallouts and doesn't like the new ones. Is Jason there? So yeah.
I like the old ones better by default. Basically.
I've tried to convince you would like them, but then you told me you didn't like. I think it was Baldur's Gate. I was like, well, if you don't like Baldur's Gate, you probably won't like the Fallouts, to be honest.
I didn't like Baldur's Gate when I was 15,
okay.
so there is a chance that my...
I mean, they don't play exactly the same. For example, Fallout 1 is considerably more linear than Baldur's Gate. Fallout 2 is not that linear.
I just found that Baldur's Gate, I got confused and stuck to what I was doing quite quickly. But I'd be willing to give it another go. But I got lots of games to play, so it's not on the agenda immediately.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that was the news.
I think that was the news.
That was to do, so...
We'll see you next week.
Yes. Mouse Mania is still amazing to me.
Mouse Mania is still amazing to me as well.